Retro anime. How did we find it? How does it hold up? Unpacking the ins and outs of being an old school nerd and proving that 80s kids can't remember a damn thing right. These are the mindless midlife musings of the anime nerd.
Alright, welcome to Mindless Midlife Musings of the Anime Nerd. I'm Rick, and I'm joined by the rest of our panel, Vic, Brian, and Lynette. How's it going this week, everyone?
Hello, everyone.
Excellent. In this episode, we continue our celebration of Hayao Miyazaki and Ghiblifest as we navigate the refuge of the spirits. Today, we are talking about Spirited Away. This episode and several of our Ghiblifest episodes break from our norm. This is because several of the films in Ghiblifest this year are post-2000 releases, but we're making a special exception to help celebrate Miyazaki as he releases his third attempt at retiring. This is whatever movie.
Right.
So
Man is a national treasure.
that's
to the
right.
world.
He's a world treasure, yeah. So Spirited Away is a 2001 Japanese animated fantasy film written and directed by Hayao Miyazaki and animated by, of course, Studio Ghibli. Plot surrounds the story of Chihiro, a 10-year-old girl who, while moving to a new neighborhood, enters the world of the kami. And after her parents are turned into pigs by a witch, she takes a job working at a bathhouse to try and find a way to free herself and her parents and return to this human world. So yeah, this movie is a big deal. Get right out the gate and say it. Yeah, this movie was a very big deal. This movie was the highest grossing film in Japan for almost 20 years. It's one of the only hand-drawn animated features to win an Academy Award. It's on everybody's top movie lists. Like it's a very big deal.
Oh, the fact that it's visually stunning doesn't hurt it either.
No, for sure. And
Visually, I agree with that. I was holding on to that, but man, it's really beautiful. I was like, God, really
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, it is stunning.
this movie is successful at taking your breath away over and over and over again. I one of the notes I wrote down right away was background artists don't get paid enough. And that was basically every shot of this movie. And that's something I've always hated about background art and revered and wished I was much better at doing, is that some of these background paintings are on screen for maybe 6 seconds and never used again. And each one is desktop wallpaper worthy. Like there's no bad art in the backgrounds of these movies.
Everything is so clean, so crisp.
My favorite was when the storm was coming in. Oh my God, beautiful!
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is one of this thing is the second film where Studio Ghibli started experimenting with computer generated imagery being blended in with their films, and most of the time it was used for moving backgrounds, taking those amazing paintings and having them be able to scroll across screen in a natural way so that the characters could interact with the environment. It's like could be seen a lot in some of the scenes, like when Chihiro's crossing the bridge just keeps like rolling into the foreground. Like that's that sort of rolling background technique. I forgot what it was called, but they used it on that in Princess Mononoke, were the first like 2 instances they really started using deep canvas. That was the name. It was called deep canvas. Pretty cool stuff. But they were very conscious about not using it in a way that it would detract from all the hard work of everybody, So it was really great. It was a good instance of using the technology in such a way as to accentuate all the effort. I don't have. I mean, go ahead.
So, question for you.
Shoot.
I imagine you have a whole format for how we should do the show.
This is a hard one for me because I obviously, our usual gimmick is for me to break down the plot, kind of go through this point by point, act by act. And as much as I want to do that, my notes are kind of everywhere with this one because this movie does mean a lot to me. It's artistically, story wise, it's very near and dear to my heart. So I don't I kind of wrote notes as I was thinking, and I'd be rewatching the movie, and I would write notes for things that I knew were coming, like 20 minutes later, just because it came to my head. I'm like, well, let me write that down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's my one note is a hot mess. So I am open to discussion on this. If
Yeah.
you've got something you want to talk about, bring it on.
I have a suggestion. Right?
Shoot.
I think we should royally off everybody in Ghibli town, and then redeem it with ending with the great stuff about it. Let's just go say you do the things that annoyed us about it.
All right.
Way is not going to be the final thing that we say.
All right.
Okay, that's easy enough. I mean, that'll kill like 3 minutes.
Appreciate it. Brian, I encourage you to start. Tell me some of your frustrations with Spirited Away.
I hated Chihiro's tears. I thought there was a scaling issue on the tears. I was like,
yeah, they were huge, but they were fluid.
look, I was like, seriously, she was crying. She either going to be dehydrated or loss of blood or something. That was one really, yeah.
I get it. I get it.
All right.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's to comment to it. They did the same thing in Totoro. The tears
Right.
are a little bit bigger in this one, but it's. I want to say, and I can only, guess, best guess that use it as a way to convey the severity of the emotional weight. You know what I mean? Like she's not just crying; she's dropping crocodile tears. Like that's how emotionally.
Crocodile. Those are straight prehistoric animals.
Yeah, those are straight up T-Rex tears.
Yeah,
Without a doubt.
They're huge.
They are. They do. Yeah, it's a common thread in Ghibli, along with a couple other little tiny things that they do. One of the things they do. No, I'm going to save it because it's a thing I love. So we're not going to do that. We're going to talk about things we didn't love.
I got a couple more, but I don't want to overload everybody. And next, thing you know, people are looking to kill me. I don't want that to happen. I think we should all be on the top.
We should all have to say something negative about this film. Oof, that's a tough one.
Okay, I'll jump in.
Okay, Vic, go for it.
Okay, so the one thing that really irked me, it's the only thing that irked me, is she has spent roughly less than 10 minutes on screen with Haku, right?
Mm-hmm.
How the hell does she have true love for him enough to break a spell?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have a whole lot of on-screen time together, and the first few minutes was him, trying to protect, just trying to sneak her in, and the rest of it, he was bleeding all over the place.
I feel like it's because I'm going to make it my mission to defend this. I feel like it's a mistranslation of sorts. We think of true love like Romeo and Juliet true love, and I think
excuse me, you mean Princess Bride? Thank you.
There you go, absolutely, Princess Bride and love, true love, follow you forever. I feel like it's meant to be a pure love, like that of a child to a parent, or the purest kind of, like a girl to her puppy. You know what I mean? Like those sorts of pure moments of love where you want to
just compare Haku to a puppy.
I sure did. Send all your hate mail to Kaiju of the Grotto Twitter. Yeah, so that's the way I interpreted it. It was not that she was romantically in love with Haku, because she's 10. I thought of it more as the enduring, pure kind of love, the honest love that comes between, people that you're not necessarily romantically involved with, but emotionally attached to. So that's how I interpreted it.
I love that. Is a type of love that will make you come back and start a podcast. It is the type of love that will make you just realize there's 2 episodes of Butt Attack Punisher and you got to share it with everybody and we watch it. That's
there you go. That's the love. That's the love.
If we weren't going to die before, we're gonna die now.
So yeah, that's the way I interpreted it. But I do agree that when the translation, it comes off a little washy. You're like, what? True love? Like really? Like I don't know.
Okay,
Lynette, do you have something? It's your turn.
we accept your offering, Vic.
No, I can only offer up. I watched it with my mom and grandmother, so we enjoyed that. And
nice.
my mom went, "Why all the stinky, and why did they have to vomit a lot?" So that was the.
And even
So I'm going to steal her statements because I actually enjoyed the whole movie. So
Yeah, no, I can't defend that. She's not wrong. There's a lot of vomiting.
But it's also so fluidly animated.
Yeah, very, very well animated vomiting. But
So even the most disgusting of things in the movie is still beautifully animated.
yeah,
So
you know it's good when my mom just goes, "Oh, oh."
you know what? We talk about in like more of our like more destructive. We could talk about beautiful destruction,
yeah,
right? We could say beautiful. What do you say for this? Beautiful
beautifully
biology.
disgusting. Beautifully
Yeah,
disgusting.
beautiful disgusting.
Beautifully disgusting.
All right, I guess if I'm gonna go in heavy on this. One of the
Heavy.
things that I did not like about the film was how vague they made No Face's corruption. Like you don't know for sure what's happening. Like how did he go ape? And it for me especially, I'm also dumb as a stump in a redwood forest. It took me repetitive viewings to really hone in on what was happening with that character and why did he go from the nice guy on the bridge that handed her some tokens to holy he's eating people. And that's not really explained. It's for the viewer to discover. And I think that if there was a slight I could give the film, that'd be it. Is that they really should have maybe held kids' hands a little bit more on that one because it's a far heavier tone. The whole idea about this movie was that Miyazaki made it to have a heroine for the 10-year-old girls that were family friends that would come out to his cottage or to his cabin in the summer. And if he was making a movie for 10-year-old girls, I feel like that corruption of No Face should have been a little bit clearer and less vague. It's my one negative I can possibly come up with.
So,
well, to be fair, you're also a major No Face fan, so.
Oh yeah, I am hard on the No Face train. It's my boy.
what, Blue?
For those that don't know, Rick is dressed up as No Face multiple times for Halloween.
Oh hell yeah, yeah! I used the hell out of that costume, and I think one of the coolest costumes I ever saw made was Adam from MythBusters. Yeah, he did his own No Face thing on YouTube. Oh, highly recommend it. It's so good, and made me insanely jealous of my cheesy version because he's got like the articulating mouth with the like it's so good. Yeah, so that's it. I am a big No Face fan, and the more I watch this film, more I like that character, just because of all the things he represents.
Felt like this was actually some of the first things I could actually successfully cosplay at my level. Not
No
being
Face?
you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No Face is an easy cosplay. I'm just saying, but it's not just the costume. It's all about the performance, man. You got to be able to with the best of them.
right. I mean, really, like, where do I get the little gold bits from? I mean, what am I gonna do?
Candy coins.
Not candy coins. They're like gold bits. So
you remember that candy though? Like you remember that candy, right? It was like little gold nuggets and it was bubble gum.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my thought was to buy a whole bunch of Dollar General drill bits, like from like a ratchet screwdriver, and spray them gold.
Damn.
Man, we have to wreck some teeth.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you shouldn't be eating the gold anyway. So I guess that tracks.
Right. So, is this the part where I say I have a couple of issues?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you're only allowed one. It's a Ghibli movie.
all I've got. That's all I've got. It's like I don't think I have anything else I could possibly give this movie a slight for. So go ahead, Brian.
All right, so Yababa.
Yeah.
Yababa. Yababa, somebody woke the baby.
Yeah.
The baby. That means somebody slept with Yababa. Recently.
Hey, she was a witch. She could have willed that baby into existence.
I don't know. Let's
Look.
go down this rabbit hole. Yeah, somebody tap that.
Like, I did not need that visual in my head at all, ever in my life.
Even old bathhouse run need love. It's a thing.
Look, all I'm saying is with a nose like that, a blowjob from her could kill somebody.
I bet you it was the one dude that No Face ate.
That brown nose and little.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right. My third problem, I feel like I need to keep track.
Yeah.
Is they've never really explained not just No Face, but how the other servants are there. What exactly? How did they get there? Are they spirits? Are they human? You know.
Well, to them, humans stink, so I'm pretty sure they're all spirits.
I think you're meant to infer that most of the creatures in this world are some kind of kami, right? They're all spirits of one nature, one sort or another, with the exception of the human girls working the bathhouse. And I think you're meant to infer that those are girls who've forgotten their names and work perpetually for Yubaba, as was intended to happen to Chihiro. So people like Lin is Chihiro, just she failed to get out. So now she lives there like that. And I think that's several of the other girls in the bathhouse. And so there's this whole subtext about treating her as another, a different, as, oh, she's a human. And you're looking at these characters going, you a human. Like, but it's, she's been there so long, she doesn't smell like a human. She's forgotten what, what it is to even be human. Like they've been there, they've caught in this work world. And they're just slaves to the system.
So, which brings up something that is just, it irks me, right? Mm-hmm. We live in a world where we're constantly surrounded or reminded that humanity is bad, right?
Sure, yeah.
And you have spirits like Haku, who's looking up for a girl, apparently who he knows the name of, and he's known her for a long time. Sure, I'll let that slide. But spirits are supposed to have been able to share the world with us. Is that I'm supposed to infer that as well? That, you know what, we have this place right here where that's completely devoid of humanity, right? But there has to be some level of humanity that they aspire to or they love, or if they're spirits, they should be nurturing for a lot. But right now it feels like just a punishment to be human. And,
well, yeah.
Hey Brian, have you met humanity lately?
No. He did preface with the fact that we suck. So yeah, Brian, you're not wrong. But I think the difference is, or the thing you have to understand, and I am by no means an expert. I'm not armchair experting this. I'm not mansplaining this. I don't have a clue what I'm fucking talking about. This is just based on my rudimentary understanding of the culture. Is that the kami of Japan, the spirits, they are not gods per se. They're spirits is the best way to describe them. And they can be malevolent, they can be kind, they can be just as roundabout and weird as every human being that you've ever met. So some of them are straight up do really things to people. Some of them are endearing and protective, and those are the ones that are revered. And when you go to a shrine and you pray to a kami, you're not praying necessarily for something. You're praying out of respect for that kami. You're revering them. You're giving them their due, basically. And you pay their coin. You offer tribute, and all of these things go to rent, to that kami. And I think you can infer, sort of like with Haku specifically, he has nowhere in the human world to go. Right? His where he was and who he was in the human world is gone. It's been destroyed. So
It's
he's
apartment complexes now.
so
Yeah.
he's stuck there. And I think you can be meant to infer that a lot of kami are stuck there and probably not very happy with the way humans have been behaving. So they're looked down on in a lot of ways. And a few, sure, there are kami who are probably totally chill with the humans, like the radish spirit. He was awesome. He was like, "Come on, I'll take you upstairs. No big deal." But a lot of them aren't.
The Radish Spirit is going to be my second cosplay.
Brian, I'm gonna have to ask you to keep your shirt on.
He was great, man. I love that guy. So,
But you know what? Still better than trying to cosplay the baby. I'm just saying.
Albino was coming.
So yeah, you're not wrong in that they look down on humans, but I feel like a lot of that is earned, as you obviously mentioned, but the other times a lot of these guys are sort of displaced. This bathhouse is where they go to relax, to get away from humans, get away from that world. It's their refuge, and the last thing they want to do is think of work when they're on vacation,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing.
I think like the movie can be summarized with the water spirit that comes in as the stinky monster.
Yeah.
And then you find that when they pull everything out, it's like bicycles, fishing nets, all the stuff that humans
Pollution.
put into the water
Yeah.
and that made him gross, right? So
Yeah.
you saw he repelled all the other spirits. They're like, go away, go away. But when they found out that it was actually he was corrupted by human nature.
Mhm.
And once they cleared it all out, he was just like, "Oh, I'm better now." And then he
Yeah,
went away.
I'm good. And then he took off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it feels like there's almost no redemption for humanity. It feels like it. And the thing about it was, it took a human to go that extra mile to redeem the spirit and say, "Hey, there's something here. We just gotta pull over." Now, I don't know if that's human effort or because it really wasn't. It didn't take her. It wasn't a stretch for her to do that. Human
Sure.
curiosity or something like that.
Well, I think it's more along the lines of the innocence of a child.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the overreaching theme for this film is, in my opinion, it's about greed versus kindness. Right? The corruption of No Face happens because of greed.
Yep.
He enters the bathhouse. He's in this environment where everything is capitalistic and it's all based on greed, and everybody wants the gold, and I can make gold, and it's all about consumption, just mass consumption. And he's offset by kindness, by simple basic acts of decency. Chihiro invites him in. Chihiro, thanks him for the tokens. And when he's
And
trying
she doesn't
to
actually ask for anything from him.
right, and when he's trying to buy her love, she's like, "No, I'm good, man. I gotta help my friend, so I'm gonna dip. I'll be back." And he has this look of just complete, like he's forlorn, like he's lost, like he doesn't have any idea how to handle that, because that whole bathhouse is a metaphor for just Western greed. That's why Yubaba's room is all decorated in like European style, and she's wearing like fancy European dress, and where all the people that work for her, they're all dressed in standard yukata and kimono, and they're they're sleeping on the floor Japanese style with tatami mats and all that, but not her. Her house is all mattresses and pillows and shit. It's
Can I ask you a question, sir?
yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that did you use the word forlorn?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It happens.
We got to use the big words for this movie.
I just want forlorn.
Yeah, I mean, because he did, like, when she rebukes him, everybody like starts crowding him to give him all his admiration for his gold, and he doesn't even. He just looks over at her like, "Where are you going?" Like he has no idea what's happening. It's heartbreaking.
I want to continue with this line of questioning, sir. There's no thesaurus that was used for that forlorn.
I refuse to apologize for having a high school vocabulary.
High school. We all went to the same high school, and forlorn the first time has appeared in our podcast. Forlorn, sir. Who sent you?
You're still on forlorn, and you just ignored the fact that he also said rebuked.
Yeah.
I figured rebuke came from him living in Florida. I was able to. I was able to explain that one. But forlorn, like the first thing I thought was 7 years. I mean, but that's the one. I want to thank you guys. Just thank you for being positive forlornment to my existence.
I don't know that that's the right usage.
Did I use it right?
Absolutely. Nailed it. Good job.
Yeah, crushed it. Somewhere these are going to be like, oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, that's what this whole movie is to me. It's again, I've watched this 1,000 times. And that's the two themes that I always come back to. It's greed versus kindness. Haku's kindness to Chihiro, it's shown early on. There's this great moment where he's got to take her across the bridge, right? It's real. Her parents are turned into pigs. Her whole world is falling down around her. And he's like, we got to cross this bridge. You need to hold your breath. If you breathe even once, we are. And she's like, okay, this is a 10-year-old girl. She holds her breath. She tries to make it across the bridge. Doesn't quite make it. Frog freaks her out. And instead of berating her, he doesn't. He acknowledges that what she's going through is hard. That that she's afraid, and he comforts her instead of berating her. Simple kindness. That's what wins this whole movie. Is every single instance where simple kindness is used instead of a monetary reason or greed. And that's, and to me, that's what this whole movie's about. It's just be kind, not just to each other, but to the river, right? Be kind to the earth itself. I mean, if anything, I mean, we can all agree the river spirit is absolutely an allegory towards pollution of the earth, and just be kind. This whole movie is about. And
don't take, because everything was about taking. The parents took.
Yeah.
That
escalated quickly.
Yes, the movie is pretty much don't be a selfish bastard.
Right.
Yo, that escalated quickly. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this was my first time watching it. So
that was great, right? So that I'm a grown man, and that opening act is scary as she comes back, and I love it because the voice acting, they did such a good job. As they're eating, they're snorting as they're talking.
Yeah.
That's right. Daddy's got money. And I'm like, boy, they telegraphed the shit out of that. But it's so great. She comes back and it's terrible. Imagine being 10 years old. That's horrifying. It's so good. It's scary. I love it.
And nobody was killed on that one. So
damn close. Close.
Shout out to the suit demons, to the suit guys. I was happy,
Yeah, the creature design in this is second to none. It's stellar. Everything from the paper-faced boat patrons to the radish spirit to Kamaji the boiler man with his multiple arms.
Yo, Kamaji.
All those arms, those tiny, tiny little legs.
Yeah, and I mean, No Face, talk about iconic. Aku, his dragon form. Oh, Jesus. The list goes on.
Those paper birds.
Yeah, the little
battle with Aku and the paper birds.
Oh yeah, with the God, those are
they have
beautiful.
They're great.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I was like, oh my God.
So there's so many amazing, beautiful moments in this. I try to write notes for all of them, but there's just so many, and it's stupid little things that make my animation nerd lose his shit. And it's things like when they arrive at the tunnel to go to at the beginning of the movie, and the parents get out of the car, and she's like, I'm staying in the car. And she decides to get out of the car, but she gets out of the car in such a hurry that she forgets she still has her flowers. So she turns around, she puts the flowers in through the window on the chair. All of that is conscious decision making by the animators that you don't even think about as a person, and then it makes it so real. Like that
It's
behavior.
more relatable, yeah.
That behavior is so. I have watched my 9-year-old son do like that. Like just space out on something, realize it, go back, put it back. They don't have to do these things, but those are the details, those are the little touches that make Ghibli movies better than everybody else because they think about those things and they make those conscious decisions. Brian, you talked about that, and when we covered Totoro, and you talked about how they put the bottle in the creek and things like that. That's
It's the little things that no one thinks about.
that's that Ghibli magic.
I think they are really good when it comes to just an element of water, except for tears.
Yeah, with the exception of tears.
Water. When she was walking across the water, heading toward on the train tracks.
Yeah,
and I was like, you know what? They probably never showed the clarity of the water until after the river spirit was purified.
right.
But
like everything.
That was some Zephyr Hills type water right there.
It's so good.
Actually, you bring up the water, and it's like actually, if you think about it, a lot of the spirits, the level of transparencies, and it's like a lot of that is drawn.
Yeah,
it's
insane.
It's insane.
There's this little shimmy she does when she's really frustrated and she doesn't want to go in with her parents. Her parents are like, "Come on, Chihiro," and she's like, "No," and she doesn't want to go, and she's doing this little shimmy. It's so easy for an animator to just go. She's just gonna say no and make a frowny face, but they don't. They put body language into her, and it's so natural, and it just those are the little things. The parents snorting as they eat, the backgrounds, and the way that everything is so lived in. That's Ghibli magic, and that's every other anime we ever cover never comes close to this. This is why they're masters of what they do, because of these things. And sure, a lot of anime has moments where you go, wow, that was like Akira. A lot of just really amazing moments. But
it's so smooth. God, like when she was running on that one pipe, it's like when she ran down the stairs too. It's like it is just so insanely smoothly animated. It's like how?
You know what else is a smooth animation? But it reminded me of Project Echo when they right at the beginning when they're driving, they make the right turn to go up the hill. Man, that stuff like that is beautifully drawn to me because it shows just depth and scope of terrain.
Something so simple that could be easily ignored or shown in a less complex way, and they take the time to do it, and that's the magic of it. That's the thing that makes the studio so good. That's what makes them the best.
Like I would spend, you know how there are people who they'll go to set locations, right? Yeah. And they actually hunt for the set locations of like say something that was in Star Wars or something that was in the kind of Monte Cristo, the big elephant that was in there, right?
Yeah.
I felt like I would lose money looking for that left turn because I felt it for that right turn because I know it just has to be in Japan somewhere.
Right. Of course it does. Right. Like all of its influence, and I think that's, same thing with Totoro. With this film, they inspired by real locations. Like this town that they're supposed to be moving to is inspired by a real place. So it's not a 1-to-1, but yeah, that's you're gonna find that stuff just everywhere. It's again, I could talk about the animation of this all day long.
Let me ask anime noob question, if you will.
Yeah, go for it.
So we can automatically assume that Totoro and Spirit Away share the same universe.
I don't see why you wouldn't. And that's in fact, there's several Ghibli films that I would say are probably all part of like a shared universe.
Not Grave of the Fireflies, no,
but definitely not Grave of the Fireflies. Yeah, it wouldn't have surprised me to see a Totoro at that bathhouse. You know what I'm saying?
Now someone's gonna have to skim through every single frame, check in the background, make sure there's not a tiny one hiding somewhere.
Not
only reason why because the suit guy.
Yeah.
The little suit balls. That's the only reason.
The soot sprites, absolutely. Yeah. The soot sprites and their sprinkles. The soot sprites get sprinkles. It's so cute. You can't even handle it.
Yeah, it's adorable.
That whole scene.
They were adorable.
The one falls with the coal and she helps, and the rest of them are like, well, this job. I mean, that's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, and the guy's like, you can't take another person's job. You can't do that.
I they do this thing in that scene where Kamaji's banging on his little metal wheel to get their attention to come out, and
hmm
it's quick, but they literally animate the rattle of the wheel. It's the wheel's got this like squiggly shake to it. And it's I don't know why that gives me a goosebumps every time I see it. It's just like that metal rattling thing. It's like yeah, I feel it on the back of my neck. I love that shit so much. Stupid things. I love like how Chihiro has no spatial awareness. I don't know how many 10-year-olds you've ever met. They have no spatial awareness. She has none. It's beautiful. She bumps her head after thanking Kamaji. Like, oh, don't forget to thank him. Boom. Oh, like that's just so fucking
Runs into
9-year-old.
walls,
Yeah,
trips over
like this
trips
whole
over
thing. Gonna,
flat surfaces.
Yeah.
It's just normal.
this whole thing gonna be explained away with a concussion. I just
The scene in the garden where Brian loves her crocodile tears, baseball tears. Let's call them baseball tears because that's what, like she's tearing grapes. It's like,
yeah,
what's
like how tears seem like they're fake. They were like the tears of the genuine soul. I mean,
They were like self-contained water balloons.
It's such a good moment though, because it's the first moment since all the chaos started that she has a chance to reflect on her situation. She's been so busy getting the job, trying to be brave in the face of Yubaba. Good lord, you see a face like that, make anybody cry. She keeps it
You know, all
together.
they had to do was pretty much hide under Ubaba's nose, and that would have been fine.
Yeah.
She keeps it together the whole time until that moment when she finally has a chance to breathe. When she's with Haku after seeing her parents as pigs, like the revelation that this is really happening to me. Those are my parents. And she gets this moment to break down, and he just comforts her with rice. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, that's comfort food of the highest order. It's
Yes.
good.
Have a onigiri. The world will be better if you eat them.
Yeah, that's it.
how it goes.
just dissect Yababa for a second.
I think it's a great
Well,
idea.
she's 90% nose, so
What the Kami was she supposed to be? I mean, like you know how the one thing about allegories, you know, is this is supposed to be an allegory of pollution,
Right.
or this is supposed to be greed, right?
Right. Yeah.
well, they made it sound like she was just a witch.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like the personification of Western greed, sort of.
But she has to work within a bound. She has contracts. The same as her sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like they can't violate their law is the thing. Is like so Yubaba has to be that way. Like she can't be nice. She can't
Right.
go and pat Chihiro on the head and say, it's okay, let's start it over again. She has to follow her nature. And her
Which is
sister
screwed up
has to
because then she has a
follow.
giant baby running around wearing only an apron.
Yeah, that too.
So
that's
And
what
and
I
it's
saw her as.
and yes, you're absolutely right. She's in her lane, and that's kind of like
Yeah.
the roles of Kami, right? Like Kami in general, the spirits have a job. They have a role that they must fulfill, and it's something that it has to do with the concept of duty and having your duty and having to adhere to that, and doing that to the best of your ability, no matter what. And she is that. But it's such a testament to her character when Haku confronts her and she's like, let's kill those parents, let's get those pigs. They got to be ready to kill. And Haku's like, something really important to you is missing. And her first thought is to look at the gold. First thought is, oh, money. Where's my money? And it takes several beats for her to finally think about it and look over at her kid and go, he has been eating a ton of chocolate. Like, that ain't right. And it takes way too long for that to click. And it's a testament to her character, of her staying in her lane, of her being this personification of Western greed. It's great. But that's exactly it.
But if you'll notice at the end too, is Chihiro does bow to her as a
Yeah.
show of respect, even at the end. And I think that's one thing that some people miss is you can't have the good without the bad. So they both must be mutually respected at the same time, right? So you can't, you have to accept that, even the bad spirits, they are that way because they have to be that way. They have to teach you a lesson, the same way that the good ones have to teach you a lesson. It's a very deep.
Damn, she just went and dropped more knowledge.
Well, yeah, no, and in the end, she was still honorable. Like she still
Yep.
held up her end of the agreement. She still did
Mhm.
everything. Like they agreed she was going to test her, and she did, and she'd let her go. Like no harm, no
Mhm.
foul. Like all right, see you later.
Mentioned that she was forlorn about losing her baby.
She was. So what an excellent use of the word, Brian. Well done.
Thank you. I'm really good. Forlorn is my super
It's
dimensional
your
fortress
word.
Mac.
Your word of the. It's your super dimension fortress Macross. I love it. So, some of the musings that I had for this, obviously, when it comes to Ghibli, there's books worth of stuff you can read about these films, and if you feel ever so inclined, you more than welcome to dive into it. I'm not going to waste all your time with it, but some of the stuff I wrote down were sort of the fun things. That again, he decided to write the screenplay after spending time with the 10-year-old daughter of his friend, who was the film's associate producer, and they came to his house each summer. Decided he wanted a role model for 10-year-old girls, and I thought that was pretty admirable. It was defamed Pixar animator John Lasseter that managed to convince Miyazaki to let Disney distribute the film. I don't know, bad with the good. How we're gonna treat that one? And he was EP for its English dub, which to comment on the English dub, stellar. Disney does not around with their dubs. I love that they cast Susan Egan as Lynn. You remember her as Meg from Hercules. She's great in those kinds of roles. And little Lilo, Davy Chase, she played Chihiro in the English dub. And I mean that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole plethora of amazing vocal talent on this, both in the Japanese version and the English dub. Those are just the two I wrote down because they were fun. I already talked about how this movie made big. Oh, Yubaba's son has a name. It's never said in the movie, but his name is Bo. B-O-H.
I did know that.
I didn't know that. Did they say it in the movie? I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Did they?
I learned it from Wikipedia.
Wikipedia's a win.
Yeah.
Brian did homework.
I think they say it in the movie.
They? Oh, okay.
They only say it like twice, so you don't
Yeah.
really.
It doesn't
associate
count.
With the baby.
When it comes back
It doesn't
across
count if it's. Sorry, it doesn't count if it's those three heads because all they say is Bo.
No.
Yo, can we just say some of the creature designs really had me on? Those three heads, I'm gonna have nightmares.
Nah,
pig?
man.
Oh my God.
The little vulture with the with the mini Yubaba head on it.
Yes, that was creepy. Ugh.
Here's a fun one for you. The cleansing of the river spirit is apparently based on a real incident in Miyazaki's life where he participated in the cleaning of a river and removing, amongst other things, a bicycle. It's a fun one.
Aww.
And the real reason that we decided to cover this is, I mean, on top of the fact that it's also for Ghiblifest, is that the live-action stage play of Spirited Away is playing in Ghiblifest. And it will be airing the week of this episode's release. So I highly encourage anyone and everyone listening to go out and check that out because it is a rare thing for Miyazaki to greenlight a live-action version of any of his works. It's only been done a handful of times. This is one of them. Nausicaa got a kabuki, which was pretty badass, I heard. Would love to see that get recorded and brought over. So take a moment to go appreciate the stage play version of Spirited Away at Ghiblifest coming this week. So Gigi on a pillow. Gigi from Kiki's Delivery Service was on a pillow in Bo's room. Yeah, you find a moment when Chihiro wanders into the room. One of the first shots is a ton of pillows everywhere in that room, but on the left side of the screen you'll see Gigi on a pillow. That's one of the few Easter eggs I could find.
Yeah, I think it was also cool that the soot demons again only interacted with the kid, with Chihiro.
Yeah.
He was aware of them,
right?
from more of a overseer type, but they actually, when they took care of her shoes and stuff like that, I was like,
Right.
kudos, touche, suit demons.
And I do like that Lynn treats them like pets. Like Lynn
Mm-hmm.
is the one that gives them the sprinkles, and she comes in with her basket full of sprinkles, and it's like she's feeding pigeons. It's great.
Her inner old lady. Here.
Yeah. I mean, and who's to say how old Lynn is? You're stuck in that spirit realm. God only knows. So I think that's all the notes I've got. This movie is, again, just stupid gorgeous. You guys want to go ahead and take down final thoughts on this one?
I did have one random question.
Bring it on.
Does the father still have a job? Because they thought it was only like a day, but the car is dusty. It has leaves and branches, and they've been gone for a while. I mean, are they going to come out to where like there's missing have you seen these people?
What about the house that we're just moving into?
Great question.
Has it been sold? Has it just, that was the only thing that came to my brain was like, is this going to be like they were gone for 5 years and nobody knows what happened
Did
to
they blip
them?
away? Did the blip happen?
Right, yeah. Was this the quantum realm? Were they with Ant-Man? No, it's a good question. Yeah, Ghibli has a way of doing that, leaving you with some lingering questions with their films. And as
it keeps you talking about it.
Yeah, as we cover the rest of these Ghiblifest movies, this year is going to be fun. There's a lot of really great stuff to talk about.
While you're correct about lingering questions, it has nothing to do about the message that they're trying to portray. It's not like Ghost of the Show where you have like a crisis at the end. No, it's
no.
I really wish that we had like a supplemental episode or even a better about what happened.
Yeah, you're right. This doesn't leave you thinking about its themes. More so, it leaves you wishing that we're another 30 minutes. It's kind of, or more. And based on what I read, I guess originally this was intent. This would have, if he would have shot this the way he storyboarded it, it would have been over 3 hours long. So there's clearly a lot of story there that they didn't get to explore.
Can I say one of the things that the before I give my thought?
Yeah, no, go for it.
One thing that irked me, how dismissive their parents were about the whole ordeal.
Yeah, sure.
They didn't have a nightmare about being pigs. No, they woke up on the other side of the thing. Just go ahead. Don't turn back. Just keep going. Mom, Dad, I see you. Hurry up. Walk away. You could be in trouble. No, you could be in trouble. Maybe
why are you so far behind?
And isn't it just the way, right? Like that's sort of the whole deal, right? That it wouldn't matter if she tried to explain it to them; they would be just as dismissive of her. It's like, oh, Chihiro, your imagination is something else, because her parents were part of the problem. Her parents were representations of that greed too, right? He's driving an Audi. He's got his like Western polo jeans combo thing going on. As Daddy's got credit cards. Don't worry about it. Played by Michael Chiklis in the U.S. dub, by the way. Excellent casting. And so they're part of that whole problem that, we got money solves everything, greed issues. And that's so, of course, they're dismissive of Chihiro. That kindness would be lost on them completely.
So it felt like the lesson was just for Chihiro.
Yeah.
Because it's like, your parents it's too late to save them.
Yeah, they can't be helped.
It's too late to save them. We're not going to be able to do anything, affect any type of emotional change in them. So you have to save them. Remember the lesson. Don't be
don't be them. What did you learn, Chihiro?
Don't be selfish bastards.
Not to be my parents. I felt like I knew that going in. I mean,
right.
I mean, I didn't eat the food.
Right, exactly. I think that was born more from a place of fear than respect, right? Like she was more freaked out at the whole prospect. But by the end of it, it's a different situation where she was more, I don't know, open to kindness. That feels cliche to use the word, but that's
what it felt like she got strength from being justified in her right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes.
inner righteousness, Oh, I'm scared, I'm nervous. No. You're the one who figured this out. Okay, you know what? I would have did this, or the things that she was doing is what saved the bathhouse.
Sure.
As opposed
Absolutely.
to tried and true. So they're continue to be innocent and pull bicycles out of monsters.
Every instance of something going right at the bathhouse was a direct result of Chihiro's kindness.
Mm-hmm.
Getting No Face out, fixing the river spirit, saving Haku, everything that went right was because of her simple kindness. So that's, to me, the moral of it all.
Mm-hmm.
So Brian, you want to take us out? What are your final thoughts?
I don't know if I have to be this way because this is the way our show is set up, but with all the jokes that we made about the show, it doesn't change the fact of the matter that it is a fantastic film. Fantastic. I would suggest this to anybody. I would just say make sure you have subtitles. I watch the subtitles. Make sure you have subtitles. I really enjoyed it, and I'm thankful to be a part of it. To part of this review of it.
Thank you. Yeah, Lynette. I always do this to you. I hand it over to you, and then I ask you like an idiot whether or not you've seen it. I know you've seen Spirited Away.
Oh yeah.
It's at least not even a question. I know you've
No
seen
Face
Spirited
is
Away.
also my favorite, so you and I,
Yeah.
No Face forever.
Yeah, that's what it's at. So how do you feel about it?
I loved it. I mean, every time I watch it, I see something new about it, and I was just thinking about it is because the Ghibli Fest coming. I'm putting it out in the ether. We need a Cat Bus DVD holder with a No Face plush as the driver. That'll just make it the best ever. So, Ghibli, if you guys are listening, give us the Cat Bus with No Face as the driver.
That's
and
right.
You can ask for anything, really.
Miyazaki-san, I
Name
know
me
you're
a
a longtime
price.
listener of the show. Big fan. We always appreciate your feedback. Been with us from the start. Talk to your marketing department. Get us a Cat Bus shaped Blu-ray box set with a No Face driver, and charge us whatever you want. You can George Lucas retire for life off the money you can make off of that.
Oh, we know he wouldn't retire. He'd say he retired, then he'll release another movie.
Retire for the time.
Right. Retire for now. Because as an artist, can you ever really retire? I mean, really. If you're a creative person, you don't just shut that off. And so there's always a part of you that's going to create. Whether or not you consider yourself working when you do it or not, I guess is the line in the sand on that one. But I don't think you ever retire from being creative. So Miyazaki's just using words like he's spitting meaningless words, because he'll never stop inventing things and creating worlds.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's just saying, "Yeah, I'm retiring," to get people to stop asking when the next movie's coming out.
That's right. Instead of "I'll get there when I get there," it's more like "I'm retired." Oh man! All right, Vic, you're up, buddy. What do you think? Spirited Away.
Well, it is visually a fantastic movie. Story-wise, it's great. I mean, as you saw, it took us all like 3 to 4 minutes of what we didn't like, and everything else was just gushing over the movie. So obviously, it's a good movie. It's right up there with other great animated classics. I would put it up there with some of Disney's best. It's just that good. I mean, I don't know what else I can say besides watch it.
Yeah, if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't seen Spirited Away, you should have tuned out 50 minutes ago. Go watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It's famous for a reason, and it's not like a tongue-in-cheek famous like some of these Academy Award winning films that you go, why did I just waste 2 hours of my life watching that? It's beautiful.
It is good stuff.
It's on the top 10 list of I don't know how many lists of greatest films of all time for reasons. It tells an excellent story, has an excellent message. If you're just willing to let it tell it to you, watch it a lot. Watch it over and over again. You'll get something out of it every time. I know I do. Every time.
An increased love of No Face. That's
Oh yeah,
what I get every time.
I never get tired of that. No Face is the best. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this Ghiblifest themed episode. Until next time, keep calm and just be kind to one another.
Spay and neuter your pets. No,
Spay and neuter your pets. That's spay and neuter your pets.
You've just been privy to the mindless midlife musings of the anime nerd, presented by Geek Grotto. Follow the podcast on Twitter at Geek Grotto. For show notes and corrections or for general geeky fun, you can visit our website at geek-grotto.com. If you would like to sponsor the show, you can do so on the podcast's Red Circle host site, redcircle.com/shows/MMMAN. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast app, please like, follow, and subscribe.